Week 12 was a climactic one in the AFC East as the Miami Dolphins met the beleaguered Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots faced the suddenly stubborn Baltimore Colts. At Cleveland's Municipal Stadium, the Dolphins faced a Browns team that appeared one game from extinction in their division. So head coach Don Shula realized that his Dolphins' share of the Eastern lead was in dire jeopardy. While Shula's team relies almost solely on defense to propel them to victory, Cleveland head coach Sam Ratigliano placed his playoff chips in the hands of quarterback Brian Sipe, number 17, and an explosive late-blooming offense. Back up in the Northeast, the New England Patriots still haven't decided the personality of their team. Are they the team that blow out the opposition by almost 40 points? Or are they the team that lost to Green Bay and was humbled badly by the Broncos? Today, this question will be answered against the Baltimore Colts. Patriot quarterback Steve Grogan is a true enigma. He is as apt to throw 6 touchdowns as he is 6 interceptions. When he blows hot, New England wins. But if he comes out cold, this extraordinary team can appear quite ordinary. Against the Baltimore Colts, Grogan was boiling, and the Pats scored on their first possession of the game. Stanley Morgan's touchdown capped an 85-yard, 9-play drive as New England threatened to turn the game into an early rout. The Colts, under quarterback Greg Landry, launched a pretty drive of their own, featuring a balanced attack of running and passing. Number 40 cornerback Mike Haynes sought to intimidate off-injured Colt receiver Roger Carr, number 81, an old nemesis from the days when the Colts were a good football team. Then the Colts were a versatile team, 40 men deep. Now their versatility wears uniform number 20 and is named Joe Washington. Although Washington's circumnavigation of Foxborough ended in failure, he set up Baltimore's first touchdown on this quick trap play. With the Colts leading 7-6, the Patriots changed gears and went to the run. Employing number 23 Horace Ivory and number 44 Don Calhoun, New England marched 67 yards to a touchdown, the second time they had the ball. On this Sunday, Steve Grogan, number 14, traded in his fool's cap and bells for a football helmet as he generaled an offense that scored every time they had the ball in the first half. A 44-yard reception by the practically perfect tight end Russ Francis was the springboard for New England's third touchdown in 3 tries. The Colts defense was bleeding yardage badly, and a variety of Patriot runners ran through the wounds. A 23-yard run by Horace Ivory set up a Grogan to Harold Jackson connection in the end zone. Jackson's touchdown built the Patriot advantage to 20-7, and when Landry tried to pass Baltimore back into the game in a hurry, the results were almost disastrous. Safety Tim Fox, number 48, barely missed an interception, but it mattered little as one play later, Rick Sanford, the Patriots' number 1 draft choice, smothered a Bucky Dilts punt and returned it for yet another 6 points. Sanford's touchdown made the score 27-7 in favor of New England. And it seemed at this point in the game, the Colts' only recourse was to sneak off the stage and head for the exit door. Trailing by 20 points, the Colts fought on gamely, but one disaster followed on the heels of another. When rookie Nesby Glasgow fumbled, the Patriots recovered and set themselves up nicely at the Colts' 38-yard line. However, Glasgow, number 25, seemed to redeem his error when he intercepted a Grogan pass on the next play. Unfortunately, the Colts were penalized and the ball reverted back to New England, and a voracious offense that sought more points quickly. Steve Grogan may be questionable in many areas, but one of them is not strength in the pocket. His tour de force appeared to put another touchdown on the board to Russ Francis, but under the new rules to protect quarterbacks, Grogan got a sack, not 6 points. A field goal enlarged the lead to 30-7, and on the ensuing kickoff, the bumbling Baltimore Colts butchered things up again. Ben Gary's fumble was recovered by the Patriots and converted into another 3 points as the slaughter reached 33-7 at the half. The plight of Colts special teams reached rock bottom in the third quarter when Stanley the Steamer Morgan fielded a punt and set off on an odyssey that covered just about every inch of Foxborough Stadium. Morgan's 80-yard touchdown is worth reviewing for 2 reasons: the majesty of the run itself and the startling fact that even though Morgan traveled such a circuitous route, he made the trip virtually untouched by a member of the Baltimore Colts. The Steamer's spectacular, coupled with another field goal, boosted the Patriots to a huge 36-point pad at 43-7. To inject some dramatics into this one-sided affair, who would you turn to? None other than Nesby Glasgow, who turned a rare New England punt into a face-saving touchdown by the forlorn Colts. Glasgow's 75-yard score helped narrow the final margin to a not-so-respectable 50-21. Now, if New England got some help from the Cleveland Browns in their game with Miami, the Patriots would assume command in the AFC East. In Cleveland, the Dolphins and Browns met in a must-win matchup between two teams with identical 7-4 records. Defense was the password here. Cleveland's porous defense, which has given up points nearly as rapidly as the Browns' explosive offense could score them. Sam Ratigliano's Browns admittedly go for the big play. And interestingly enough, their opponent Miami has permitted merely one solitary passing bomb all season long. They rank as the best defense in the entire NFL. Sure enough, for most of the first quarter, Cleveland quarterback Brian Sipe searched in vain for an opening in the Dolphins' new name defense, but found none. What was surprising was the Browns' defense was dishing out the same as Del Williams and Gary Davis pounded at the Browns' bottom-ranked ground defense and got nowhere. The stats on the Browns' defensive platoon are misleading, however. They have been susceptible to the big play all year, but have made several themselves. No team with a record as fine as the Browns can do it on offense alone. Then, too, Cleveland was playing without its standout defensive lineman, tackle Jerry Shirk, who before being injured was on his way to his best season ever. Veterans like Lyle Alzado and Jack Gregory, number 81, must take up the slack down the home stretch. Offensively, things begin with Brian Sipe, number 17. Sipe, who was a lowly 13th round draft choice despite leading the entire nation in passing at San Diego State, has this year blossomed into one of the league's premier passing quarterbacks. A measure of his aptitude is the fact that the Browns' attack has gained over 300 yards in every game they have played this year. Throughout period one, however, Sipe and company were moving the ball well but couldn't get on the scoreboard. Twice they moved deep into Dolphin territory but came up empty. Another new feature of Cleveland's attack is the maturation of Mike Pruitt, number 43, at fullback. With Greg Pruitt out for the season, the massive man from Purdue is now the second leading runner, behind only Earl Campbell in the AFC. With time running down in period one, it was Mike Pruitt on a delay for 24 yards to the Dolphin 5 that set up the first touchdown on this balmy 60-degree afternoon. Miami soon followed with a field goal, but that was all the scoring for the first half, as both teams squandered opportunities on offense. Don Cockroft, usually one of the league's most accurate field goal kickers, had one attempt blocked by the Miami special teams. To further complicate things for the Browns defense, Jerry Shirk's replacement, Rich Dimmler, a rookie tackle from USC, went out of the game with a knee injury. The Browns' dubious defense was further depleted, and Greasy and the Dolphins caught fire. Beleaguered Miami quarterback, who's had his most inconsistent season of 13 in the NFL, drove his team downfield on passes to Nat Moore and Bruce Hardy, number 84. Delvin Williams, number 24, was held to merely 4 yards on the ground in the first half, couldn't turn the corner against the brown shirts. So Greasy resumed his air attack, throwing to Moore again for 17 yards. With the ball on the 9, Williams ran straight up the gut of the Browns' defense into the end zone for Miami's first touchdown of the day. The Dolphins took the lead, 10-7. With All-Pro Jim Langer out indefinitely, the center position is manned by number 63, rookie Mark Denard, who helped open up the soft middle for Williams' score. With Shirk out, most likely for the rest of the year, Cleveland must shore up the middle of its defense if it is to make the playoffs. For the rest of the third quarter, however, the Browns' defense dominated the Dolphins, as Miami never did get out from the shadow of its own end zone. Jack Gregory, number 81, recorded Cleveland's only sack of the day. Late in the third period, with the score still 10-7, Brian Sipe exploded the bomb in the face of the Dolphins' number 1 rated defense. Reggie Rucker was hauled down at the Miami 7 for a 54-yard play, the second longest against Miami this year. Rucker was shaken up on the play, but he would return and do further damage to Dolphin playoff hopes. After a penalty set Cleveland back to the 14, Sipe was blitzed by number 25, strong safety Tim Foley, but somehow got the ball to the end zone where Ozzie Newsome made a great catch. 2 big plays, the trademark of this Cleveland attack, had put the Browns ahead of the Dolphins 14-10, and the huge crowd of over 80,000 Browns followers roared their appreciation. At the top of the fourth period, Cleveland added 3 points on Don Cockcroft's 43-yard field goal. But on the next series, it was the Dolphins' turn to detonate the bomb. Duriel Harris hauled in a 51-yarder, but it was not from Bob Greasy. Don Shula had replaced his 3-time Super Bowl quarterback with Don Strock. And the lanky 6'5" quarterback, who has sat behind Greasy for 6 years, unleashed a beauty into Harris's outstretched arms down the left sideline. Several plays later, Strock faked perfectly to Larry Zonka, then lofted a pass into the arms of Bruce Hardy for 6 points. Hardy, an exceptional athlete who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at the age of 17, has been a big find at tight end for Miami. With the score now tied at 17, the Cleveland defense regrouped. Veterans Clarence Scott, number 22, and Lyle Alzado, number 77, are part of the glue that holds this unit together. But they were back on the field all too soon. And on their next offensive series, Miami's Strock, unhampered by any rush, hit Harris over the middle for 22. Then Strock turned to his missing ground game, and for the first time today, it clicked. Del Williams followed good blocks by his pulling guards for a 24-yard advance to the Cleveland 5. The Dolphins had the Browns' defense reeling. Two plays later from the 3, Strock found Williams over the middle, and the Dolphins went ahead in this crucial game 24-17. As Williams left the field amidst the congratulations of his teammates, the huge Cleveland crowd sat silent. With only a few minutes left to go in this game that both teams had to win, this was the time for their heroes to shine. To do it, they would have to penetrate the leading defense in the entire NFL. Sight barely missed Ozzie Newsome. Now, with just 1:26 left on the clock and the pressure squarely on the shoulders of Brian Sipe, the little quarterback scrambled out of his protective pocket, then let fly to Ozzie Newsome over the middle. The incredible Browns had done it again, tying the game in the final minutes. Another look at the tying touchdown reveals Larry Gordon, number 50, at the top of the screen, was way offside. But Sipe just got his pass off to the speedy Wizard of Oz. With the stadium rocking with cheers and time running out, Don Strock and the Dolphins came out for one last shot at victory in regulation time. Number 27, the Browns All-Pro safety Tom Darden picked Strock's last-second pass clean and returned it 37 yards to end regulation, tied at 24 apiece. In sudden death overtime, the Browns won the all-important coin toss and began their march against what had before today been ranked as the best defense in professional football. On this 5-play drive in sudden death overtime, Brian Sipe twice was flushed from his pocket and gained 11 yards each time. The second of his runs put the ball into Miami territory on their 39. Here, with 1:59 elapsed in the overtime period, Sipe dropped back with good protection and let fly a perfect spiral downfield. "39 yards later, the ball ended up in the arms of Reggie Rucker, and Cleveland had won the ball game. For the Browns, it was their second overtime win of the season, and their 7th win triggered by a last-minute rally. Of the 12 games Cleveland's cardiac kids have played, 9 have not been decided until the final 2 minutes. Another look at the winning touchdown shows Brian Sipe's poise, looking over the field before passing perfectly over Tim Foley's outstretched hands to Rucker. For the veteran receiver, 9 catches for 177 yards. Sipes totals 358 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The Browns fell just 7 yards short of amassing 500 yards. The result, a severe setback for Miami's playoff hopes, but a big boost for the cardiac Cleveland Browns.